When God calls Ananias, he says, Ananias, you're going to find Paul on Straight Street. Okay, somebody didn't get it. The Damascus road is a winding road. But he said, you're not going to find him on the winding road. That's where I found him. But you're going to find him where I dropped him off. And I didn't leave him on a winding road, but I dropped him off on Straight Street. Okay, some of y'all still missing this thing. Some of you, the Bible said, and such were some of you, but you've been washed. Some of you used to be crooked. Some of you used to be a hustler. Some of you used to be liars. Some of you used to be drunkards, but now you're straight. Okay, I ain't talking to you yet. Some of you used to be a swindler. Some of you used to be promiscuous. Some of you used to be in the club 4 days a week, but now you're straight. Some of you used to get high. Some of you used to get low. Some of you used to do it all, but now you're straight. Some of you used to be homosexuals, but now you're straight. How'd you get straight? How'd you get straight? You decided to let God lead you. You decided that that word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. How did you get straight? You let God take you by the hand. And that's where some of us are right here and right now. We're halfway between that crooked road God found us on and the street called straight that he wants to drop you off at. But some of us just need a little help. And that's why I thank God for the people he sent in my life, the Sauls that he sent in my life. One of Saul's friends took him by the hand and led him to Straight Street. I thank God on tomorrow I'm having a breakfast with 2 Sauls in my life. 2 people that God has brought me to lead them to Straight Street. I went in Dr. Adams' office last week. He had a young man with an afro in he said he's in his book, his nephew. That's his Saul. He's leading him to Straight Street. I was in the kitchen with Mike Spalding the other day, and he had a brother in there showing him how to cook and how to work the kitchen. That's his Saul. He's leading him to Straight Street. Some of you didn't come straight to church, but you stopped by somebody's house and picked them up. That's your Saul. You're leading them to Straight Street. John, he doesn't teach all the songs. Sometimes he put Jimmy up here. That's his Saul. He's leading him to, come on, is there anybody in here that knows the power of having a Saul in your life? It's a serious assignment. God called Ananias. He said, Ananias, I need you to go to Straight Street, touch Saul. I need you to open up his eyes. I need you to baptize him, and I need you to put the Holy Ghost in his life. That's a serious assignment. Those of us that are saved, we have a serious assignment. There's some folk that God needs you to touch. There's some eyes that need to be opened. There's a Holy Ghost that needs to fill somebody up, and you are the one that God has chosen. Okay, so let me close. Let me close. The last point was, and I can't get to it right now, but the last point was, if you can believe that when you see it, or you must believe that what you see is what you get. And we'll expound on that a little bit more Wednesday. But I want to close with this. On the show Extreme Makeover, the family is taken out of the house. The old house is demolished. The new house is built up. But the family can't see the house because there is a big bus standing between them and what they're about to get. Now, they know what they're supposed to have because the producers told them what this was all about all along. And all week they've been waiting for their extreme makeover time to come. And now they've come all this way. A lot of times they come from overseas and back only to see this big bus standing in the way. And they can't jump on the bus. They can't push the bus. But the rules of the show say you have to shout out, "Move that bus." And I don't know who you are in this place. And I don't know how you got here. And I don't know what you had to go through. And I don't know what you've been waiting on. And I don't know what's behind the bus, and I don't know what God has built up in your life, and I don't know what God has torn down, and I don't know what he put on the inside, and I don't know how bad you want it, but I'm crazy enough to believe if there's just 250 folks that'll shout out, "Move that bus," that you'll see what he has for you. You'll get what he has for you. You can run into what he has for you. You can jump on the bed. You can sit back and recline. You can sit down at the table. An extreme makeover. Come on, stand on your feet all over this place. An extreme makeover. An extreme makeover. An extreme makeover. An extreme makeover. I'm not talking about just a little change. I'm talking about a facelift. How many of you want God to give you a facelift this morning? How many of you want God to change it from the inside out this morning? How many of you want your change to stick? I was sitting in the back, Dwayne, and when the migraine hit me, I lost my eyesight. I couldn't see the words on the page. So I sat down for a minute and I began to pray. But do you know, about 35 minutes later, my eyesight came back and I felt like in the spirit that God had just moved that bus from in front of me. And before I take my seat, there might be some migraines in your life that are causing you not to be able to see the goodness of the Lord. But I stopped by to tell you, not only can he move the bus, but he can move the migraine. He can move the sickness. He can move the hurt. He can move the pain. He can move the doubt. He can move it all. It can't stop with an emotional high. It starts with emotion, but it ends in conversion. It ends in a life change from this day forth to the day I die. It can't be about excitement. It has to be about empowerment. He not only got his sight back, but he got the Holy Ghost, which allowed him to do what he could not previously do.